Hello, my name is Alicia, and welcome to my Unnoticed Evil channel, where I talk about the hidden evils in culture. And today I'm going to be talking about what it means for the world to be evil. Specifically, I'm going to be discussing the difference between evil happening in the world versus the world itself being evil. Later in the talk, I'm going to be discussing what it means for one's mind to be in darkness. And then I will discuss what it means for movies, sitcoms, and other stories to be told from a point of darkness. Many people will say in a heartbeat that there is much evil in the world. Would these same people say that the world itself is evil? Some may not. When you ask people to give examples of the world being evil, they may mention things like murder, terrorism, pedophilia, human trafficking, theft, corruption, etc. These items, however, are examples of evil happening in the world. The world itself will condemn these behaviors. Specifically, there are laws against these behaviors. When people do these things and they are caught, they are subject to prosecution under the law. And when you do these behaviors, you will be seen as a monster by your surrounding community. Indeed, mainstream culture will condemn these forms of evil. When mainstream culture and/or the government endorse certain forms of evil, that is when the world itself is evil. When people undergo condemnation, ridicule, and adversity for doing something good, that is when the world itself is evil. Now, if you conform to mainstream culture in your thinking and in your actions, it will be difficult for you to see examples of the world being evil. When the world praises certain forms of evil, you will be praising it as well. When the world condemns people for doing good deeds, you will be condemning those very same people as well. In other words, you will not notice examples of the world being evil because you will be evil right along with it. Now, if you want to see examples of the world being evil, two easy places to look are history and television. History contains many easy to find examples of the world being evil because there are some evil practices that were considered normal back in the day that today are considered to be evil. One example, of course, is slavery, specifically the brutal kind of slavery that existed in the southern United States prior to the Civil War. And back prior to the Civil War, mainstream culture had viewed slavery as a perfectly normal and acceptable practice. Even most Northerners did not condemn slavery. The North mainly went to the war with the South to keep the Union together, more so than to free the slaves. There were some people against slavery, but they were in a minority. But you see that even when a culture views slavery as normal, it's still going to be objectively harmful. Now, television has its own world, which is not exactly the same as the real world. However, the more people imitate what they see on TV, the more TV becomes the real world. Now, television will show many scenes depicting bullying, harassment, sexual misconduct, and other malicious forms of behavior, all presented as being an object of amusement. But when you see a scene that depicts bullying as a source of amusement, you are not just seeing evil happening in the world, you are seeing a world that in itself is evil. A world that is good will condemn bullying, not laugh at it. A world that is good will view bullies with contempt. In movies and sitcoms, however, you will see characters that are bullies, and who can still be well liked by the other characters. Some characters on TV are even sexual predators, yet they undergo hardly any condemnation or scrutiny. The world of television also will condemn certain behaviors that are good, like telling the truth and being too nice. Lying, especially, is the norm among characters on television, even among the protagonist characters. I have actually seen characters apologize for doing the right thing, replace the truth they told with a lie, and somehow they all live happily ever after. One example is from the Big Bang Theory TV series, where Penny, after being sexually harassed by Howard Wolowitz, decides to do the right thing and stand up to Howard and tell him the truth about the bad person he has become. Check this out.
But back to you. I know you think you're some sort of smooth-talking ladies' man, but the truth is you are just pathetic and creepy.
So what are you saying?
I am saying it is not a compliment to call me doable. It is not sexy to stare at my ass and say, ooh, it must be jelly because jam don't shake like that. And most important, we are not dancing a tango. We're not toing and froing. Nothing is ever going to happen between us, ever.
Wait a minute. This isn't flirting. You're serious.
Flirting? You think I'm flirting with you? I am not flirting with you. No woman is ever gonna flirt with you. You're just gonna grow old and die alone.
Thanks for the heads up.
Howard, where are you going?
I'm going home to live my creepy, pathetic life.
Wow.
Well, someone had to say it. What?
He said maybe we should enter you in the killer robot competition.
Now, of course, Penny is ridiculed and compared to being one of those killer robots for doing the right thing. And she is made to feel bad. And then later on, she tries to apologize to Howard, only to find that Howard returns to his mean behavior as before. Check this out here.
Look at me. What chance do I have if I don't try too hard?
Well, you'd have a terrific chance. I mean, you're smart, you're funny, you have a cool job, you build stuff that goes into outer space.
I guess.
No, look, I'm telling you, I've known you for like a year and a half, and this is the first time I feel like I'm talking to a real person. And you know what? I like him. He's a nice guy.
You really think so?
Yes.
I don't know.
No, I do.
So, like telling the truth, being too nice also can be bad in the eyes of culture. If you are a nice person and people decide to take advantage of you because of it, then according to some subcultures, you had it coming. It was your fault for being too nice. Here, niceness is viewed as being worthy of punishment and condemnation. Ever hear the expression, nice guys finish last? These kinds of subcultures will have more respect for the assholes. Meanness is associated with strength, niceness with weakness. Such environments tend to be survival of the fittest, but note that survival of the fittest is a sign of moral degeneracy. So now if we want to define the world itself being evil, evil is going to have an objective definition. If morality becomes subjective, anybody then can define evil, including the world itself. Now if we let the world define evil, then the world itself will never be evil because the world will never include itself in the definition of evil. It will never see itself as being evil. Whatever world condemns becomes evil. Whatever the world praises becomes good. So you see that when morality becomes subjective, in a sense, the world can never really be evil. Now, cultures around the world will have some similarities and differences as to what they define as being good and evil, right and wrong. Something that is considered to be okay in one culture may be considered to be wrong in another culture. Now, cultures in history, and even today, have accepted and endorsed some practices that are objectively harmful. For example, in some cultures, it's considered to be okay for grown men to marry 9-year-old girls. Note, though, that no matter how many evil practices a culture endorses, the culture will never see itself as being evil. In other words, if you're from the outside of the culture looking in, you can see perhaps how evil a culture is. But if you're from inside the culture and your way of thinking conforms to that of that culture, you're never going to see that culture as being evil, even if it is. And this is why we cannot rely on human culture to define for us what is right and what is wrong. So, what does it mean to walk in darkness? Well, in a light versus darkness analogy, light represents good, while darkness represents evil. Now, to walk in darkness is more than just doing acts of evil and knowing that they're evil and doing them anyway. When your mind is in darkness, you start to convince yourself that the acts of evil you do are actually good. And some of the good deeds that other people are doing actually to you seem wrong and worthy of condemnation. In other words, when you're in darkness, figuratively speaking, you just can't see. So you don't know what is right or what is wrong anymore. You don't know what is a good person or what is a bad person anymore. Some people you denounce may actually be good people, and other people you're friends with may actually be bad people. But when you're in darkness, they seem normal to you. So when we are walking in darkness, we may start to view as an adversary anybody who stands in our way, even if what we are doing is wrong. Now, movies and sitcoms can be in darkness too. Normally in a storyline, the protagonist is the good guy or hero of the story, and the antagonist is often the villain or adversary. When good triumphs over evil, it is supposed to be a happy ending. When evil triumphs over good, it is supposed to be a sad ending. When a movie is coming from a view of darkness, though, the protagonist can be quite villainous, while the antagonist may be the less evil one. An example is the 1990s movie Ferris Bueller's Day Off, where Ferris is our fun-loving hero of the story who is very popular at school and skips school repeatedly so he can live life to the fullest. Now, the antagonist of the story is Principal Edward Rooney, who is trying to ruin the fun and get Ferris busted. Check this out here.
I don't trust this kid any further than I can throw him.
Well, with your bad knee, Ed, you shouldn't throw anybody. It's true.
What is so dangerous about a character like Ferris Bueller is he gives good kids bad ideas.
Uh-huh.
Last thing I need at this point in my career is 1,500 Ferris Bueller disciples running around these halls. He jeopardizes my ability to effectively govern this student body.
Well, makes you look like an ass is what he does, Ed.
Thank you, Grace. I think you're wrong.
Oh, well, he's very popular, Ed. The sportos, the motorheads, geeks, sluts, bloods, wastoids, dweebies, dickheads. They all adore him. They think he's a righteous dude.
That is why I have got to catch him this time. To show these kids that the example he sets is a first-class ticket to nowhere.
Oh, Ed, you sounded like Dirty Harry just then.
Really?
Uh-huh.
So in this video clip, you see that Edward Rooney is the adversary. We're supposed to want him to fail. And he's even presented in a rather comical light, as if somehow we're supposed to laugh at him and ridicule him and look forward to the day that he fails. But he actually does say some things that are really true. Ferris actually is having a bad influence on these students. And if these students follow in his footsteps, it could really mess up with their lives. If they don't take their education seriously, then that could actually mess up with their future. And so in actuality, Ferris is an awful person. He pulls off many wicked and deceptive schemes to get his days off from school. The one thing that Ferris does the most is pretend to be sick, to the point that he convinces a bunch of people in the school that he may die. Check out this clip here.
You see Alien?
Yeah, why? Hello?
Hi.
Hi, Ferris, how's your bod? Oh my God, you're dying?
Uh-oh.
Is it serious?
I don't know. I hope not. Think I may need a kidney transplant.
Shit. Are you upset?
Excuse me.
Think you'll be alive this weekend?
Yeah, I'd say I will.
Great, maybe I'll see ya. Bye.
Save Ferris?
What?
Well, see, we're collecting money to buy Ferris Bueller a new kidney. They run about 50 G's or so, so if you could help out.
Go kiss up a flagpole.
I'm sorry?
Ferris also gets his friend to impersonate his girlfriend's father to convince the school that her grandmother died so she can get her day off from school. Check this clip out here.
Mr. Peterson? You know, I think I owe you an apology, sir.
Well, I should say you do. Well, I think you should be sorry, for Christ's sake. A family member dies, and you insult me. What the hell is the matter with you, anyway?
Well, I really don't know, sir. I mean, I didn't think I was talking to you. I thought I was talking to somebody else. You know, sir, that I would never deliberately insult you like that. I can't begin to tell you how embarrassed I am.
Pardon my French, but you're an asshole.
What?
Asshole!
You're absolutely right, sir. You've hit the nail right in the head. Find out where she is.
This isn't over yet, Buster. Do you read me?
Loud and clear, Mr. Peterson.
Call me sir, God damn it.
Yes, sir, yes, sir.
That's better. Now you just mind your P's and Q's, Buster, and remember who you're dealing with.
Bueller. Ferris Bueller. Now, I'm a little scared because what if he recognizes my voice?
Possible. You're doing great.
Yeah?
Wait.
Then, to eat at a fancy restaurant, he impersonates the Sausage King of Chicago. Check this clip out here.
Will we please get the hell out of here? This place gives me the creeps.
Why didn't you tell me to come to it?
Hello, may I help you?
You can sure as hell try. Hi, I'm Abe Froman. Party of 3 for 12. Is there a problem?
You're Abe Froman.
That's right. I'm Abe Froman.
The Sausage King of Chicago.
Yeah, that's me.
Listen, young man. Entre nous, I'm very busy here. Why don't you take the kids and go back to the clubhouse?
Are you suggesting that I'm not who I say I am?
I'm suggesting that you leave before I have to get snooty.
Snooty?
Snotty.
Snotty?
Okay, Abe. Let's go.
No, I'm not going anywhere. No, we like to be seated.
Listen, young man, either you take the field trip outside or I'm going to have to call the police.
You're gonna call the police on me?
Yes.
Fine. As a matter of fact, I'll call them myself.
Yes. Call the police.
And then, finally, he steals a Ferrari, which would have been a felony.
He knows the mileage, Ferris.
He doesn't trust you?
Never has, never will.
Look, this is real simple. Whatever miles we put on, we'll take off.
How?
We'll drive home backwards.
No. No! Ferris, forget it. You're just gonna have to think of something else. I'm putting my foot down. How about we run a nice Cadillac? My treat! We can call a limo! A nice stretch job with a TV and a...
He then hacks into the school's computer system to reduce the number of missed school days on record.
He has missed 9 days.
I asked for a car, I got a computer. How's that for being born under a bad sign?
Now, his sister is angry about it, and she wants him to get caught, because she doesn't think it's fair that he gets to skip school when everybody else has to go. But then somehow, she winds up at a police station and talks to a drug addict and somehow becomes enlightened and decides she's not angry anymore. And in the end, she helps Ferris. She helps keep Ferris from getting caught. And of course, Ferris doesn't get caught. He does not get held responsible for his actions. And all this is somehow a happy ending. But is it really a happy ending? Now, another movie, there's a big snowstorm. Now imagine if there were a big snowstorm. And imagine that after the men are finished plowing the streets, that some kids decide to throw the snow back onto the streets so they get another day off from school. These kids would not exactly be good kids, right? With the streets blocked by snow, people would have trouble going out to get food and medicine, and emergency vehicles would have trouble getting around. But in the movie Snow Day, the heroes of the story are the kids who want that second snow day off from school, while the antagonist is the man who plows the streets. Now, in this particular scene, towards the end, the kids decide to unplow the streets. And, of course, it's considered to be a happy ending. Check this out here.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just so funny. You dimwits actually think you clobbered me. But the truth is, I've already won. Yeah, I have. It doesn't matter if I don't plow this street. Look around. All the other streets are plowed. Yeah. I'll see you in school tomorrow. Yeah. Didn't think of that, did you? Oh.
Actually, we did.
Right.
Now that you're done plowing, we thought we might do a little unplowing!
No, you can't take Clementine!
She was lost and gone forever. Dreadful story, let it
No, not Clementine! Come back here!
Sorry you can't join us.
No!
It's gonna be a real hoo-ha.
Now you may say, well, these are just kids' movies. It's not really a big deal. But still, in these movies, we are conditioned to experience glee when we see wrong triumph over right. Now, there is an entity that will tell you how to live your life, including your personal life. That entity is culture. Culture will even pressure you into living your life a certain way. When you do not give in to these pressures, you will be judged and maybe even ostracized. For example, the jock who gets laughed at in the locker room for being a virgin. But let us say that the jock gives in to these pressures and becomes sexually active. And then let us say the jock contracts disease. And maybe he undergoes some emotional damage that comes with being sexually promiscuous. Culture, in that case, would never take responsibility for what happened to this jock, even though culture is what pressured him into doing these things. So when culture pressures you into living your life a certain way, it's not because culture cares about you. It's telling you how to live your personal life because it wants to maintain itself and maintain its power. And so these are reasons that you need to think for yourself and not think in terms of human culture.